Greetings, beautiful beings, and welcome to the Breathing Bar. I'm Ahuvia, your bartender today and every day, and we are now in the spring equinox, moving into the natural cycle of absorbing and creating. So during this season, we're going to create those elixirs, those tonics, in this apothecary called Living While Human. But we're going to create those things that suit ourselves. Each of us finding what suits you. It doesn't matter what suits anybody else. Because whatever suits someone else, it may work for you, but it's not going to work for you like it works for them. Just like nothing you create is going to work for anyone else like it works for you. So this season at the Breathing Bar, we're going to go into reclaiming your mental bandwidth amid energetic interference. There is a lot of energetic interference going on, but it's up to each of us to reclaim our mental bandwidth. But because for so long we have been just immersed and bombarded with so much energetic interference without our conscious understanding, over the years and decades, our bandwidth has just got to the point where it has no elasticity left in it. It almost seems limp and lifeless. But we're here to reclaim the blessing of the universe as we can regenerate, recycle, transmute energy to serve our higher good. But in order to do that, you have to go within. And that's said all the time. But in this season, going within has to be where you stay, you know? You have to want to stay in you, your own understanding. Stay in you, your own understanding. Many times we'll stay in us for a minute and then we go back out. We're in us for a minute, then we go out of us. Then we're in us, then we'll go out of us. But most of the time we stay out of us long periods. And then when we get home, we'll go in us for a minute and then we come out of us to do the different things we're going to do around the house or with friends or with our significant other or with our children. But we have to learn to do all of that secondary to staying within ourselves. And when we stay within ourselves, what does that look like? You may ask me. You say, Hubi, what does that look like? It just basically means that no matter what you do with, for others, it's all to continue to enhance you. If what you're doing for others is not going to enhance you, you have to start to question it. And it's challenging because we're in a world where we're taught not to be selfish. But it's not being selfish when you're taking care of the universe, the innerverse that was given to you to take care of. If you're taking care of everybody else's outside of you, but yours is being neglected, then you're putting the cart before the horse. And if we look at centuries of the advancement of humanity, we'll see that much of the advancements was not in the space of balance. It was not in the space of personal sovereignty, peace of mind, peace in mind. Those things weren't on the table. And for most humans, they have not been able to find that peace, that calm amidst all of the bombardment. So today we're going to talk about that. And then also, I decided to go back to creating a PDF that goes deeper into whatever we talk about this season. So there's going to be a link and you can just click on the link. It'll take you to my website and you can just download the expansion experience that I've created to go with each of the Breathing Bar episodes that I have during the spring equinox. So there you have it. So, like I said, today we're talking about reclaiming your mental bandwidth amid energetic interference. And one of the most powerful ways that I am finding to reclaim my mental bandwidth is having the energy to do the work to reclaim it. Because we may want to reclaim our bandwidth, we may want to do a lot of things, but if our cells don't have the energy to do it, or if our cells are so weak that they don't even have the energy to function properly, to make sure that the body's functioning properly, to make sure that the communication system is flowing smoothly and accurately. If there's toxins and blockages, then miscommunication is going to be had. Information not being able to get from one space to another is going to be had. Organs tired and not even working properly. So they're just like, we're just trying to do what we can to maintain. So the first thing is going in your universe and reclaiming that. Reclaiming and moving out all the energetic interference that has caused our cells to be weakened, that has caused our etheric bodies to just have so many loose openings. You know, it's just like if you were to pull back like a spider web, it's so many little holes in our energy grid. It needs to be strong. We need to mend these holes. We need to mend so that it's not so thin that it just tears every time something seeks to penetrate us. So in doing this, I'm working to put practical things in place that I have used and continue to explore. I call myself just like my own mad scientist. I go into my medicinal holistic lab energetically, herbally, and I just kind of start fusing, creating, and I experiment. Because I'm always reaching for a deeper understanding, a deeper connection. And so in doing that now, I try to spend most of my time aware of my universe, aware of my cells, aware of what's being communicated through sensations, whether it's aches, pains, whether it's feeling really good, whether it's feeling heavy. I want to be aware because in my awareness, energetically, I can see what's going on and what may need to be addressed. So I want you to consider doing a hyper nourishment fast. And the hyper nourishment fast is more so in the mornings. You would kind of hyper nourish. That would be your mornings. And what does hyper nourishing look like? And maybe what is hyper nourishing for people that may not know? I coined the term using it this way. I didn't coin the term in the space of created it, but I coined a term when I define it how I want to define it and don't care how others define it. And so how I define hypernourishing is not only intaking nutritional foods or nutritional drinks or nutritional anything. It's more so hypernourishing is focusing on those green things that have chlorophyll. Chlorophyll, the sun, and the nutrients and the energy required to strengthen the cells to do what they do. So that means sprouts, wheatgrass. I've been doing a drink that has been dandelion greens, cilantro and parsley, 1 green apple, ginger and lemon. And I've been doing that every morning, and celery juice. So with the hyper nourishing, what I do is in the morning I drink my lemon water with sometimes I do it with apple cider vinegar, sometimes I don't. And then after that I make 16 ounces of organic celery juice. And then I just kind of let my body flush, because that's going to be the flusher for me. After the body's worked its way through assimilating everything and digesting everything and getting everything ready to eliminate in the morning, I drink those to help with that flush and also to hydrate the body and get the body ready for the day. And then after that, the dandelion, parsley, cilantro juice that I do a little more than 16 ounces. So I'll probably do about 20 ounces of that. And I sip on that throughout the day. So up until 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock, that's what I'm sipping on. So I hypernourish the entire morning. Now for me, it's an experiment to see, hey, how does my body feel when I do this? And it takes a minute, guys. It really takes a minute. So I always tell people, give yourself at least 90 days, because especially if you're doing things on a cellular level, because when I did my water fast, months later, I was really starting to see the benefits. But the only thing is, you can't go back to whatever you were doing before. And that's why in this space of the spring equinox, as you stay in the space of learning and knowing yourselves and yourself, once you begin to change and do those things that your universe needs, that your body needs, that your energy system needs, you got to stay with it. Structure and discipline are really key. Consistency is key. Body communication every day is key. Mental check-in is key. And this is what we're going to be doing in this season. You finding what works for you. I'm using the word hypernourishing. When I say that, how does it fuse into you when it goes into you? Yours won't look like mine. Mine doesn't look like yours. I tell people to make it work for them. Whatever this concept means, make it work for you. Because you're the only one that's going to be able to give yourself the peace that you need in your own sovereignty. Until you can control and find peace within you, with your organs and with your mind and bodies, how are you ever going to be able to be part of an external collective? If we look for centuries, humanity has not been able as a whole to create this utopia, this heaven on earth, this peaceful space, because within themselves, they're disarrayed, imbalanced. And that's all you can only create from where you are. So it's important. So like I said, hypernourishing, consider it. My hypernourishing cost about $70 a week. And like I said, that's the celery. So everything's just kind of expensive here, but that's the celery. I use one stalk of celery for a day, and that makes 16 ounces. And then the cilantro and parsley are about $2.50 a bunch now, organic. And then the dandelion greens are two for $6, so they're $3 a pop. But like I said, use what you have. That's why I bought the sprouts, because sprouting is very cost effective and it gives you that chlorophyll and that nutrient base. So I do have wheat berries because I'm a grower. Never really said that, but I have been growing and doing sustainable agriculture for about 18 years. So I grow a lot. I teach it at the school. So I grow there. I grow sprouting here, wheatgrass. So I'm using everything that I have. I have some spirulina. I have some seaweed. So like I said, you can make it, your hypernourishing, you can make it work for you. And with what fits in your budget and what fits in the moment that you're in mentally and emotionally. So as you go deeper into reclaiming your mental bandwidth, you have to assess what has pulled it so far out a pocket that it can be very hard to bounce back from. What in your life is it challenging to bounce back from? And you can start there. And as you do your daily check-in, allow yourself to say, okay, check in not only with what's going on outside of you, and check on not only what's happening in your emotional space, but check on how your actions, reactions in your conscious mind are affecting your cells. because cells are living organisms and they're trying to communicate. Are you hearing them? Can you even hear them? And you may not be able to. And then figure out, what do you have to do to hear them, and how do they communicate? They don't always communicate through your mind where you have a thought and it's like, oh, it may be through sensations. It may be through rhythms. Meaning sometimes when I dance, the body communicates through movement. So there's many ways that your body and your cells will communicate to you. And so that's where we are, exploring these different things. Body communication, checking in. What dialogue do you have with your body today? What dialogue did you have? What did your body communicate back? And what was your response? So that's all I wanted to talk about today, is to begin us on this journey together. What does it mean to strengthen yourselves and to reclaim your mental bandwidth, your emotional bandwidth with all that's going on? Only you can do it. No matter how much we look outside of ourselves for that solution and resolution, it can only happen within ourselves. But the more of us that can gain control of ourselves, our sovereignty, the more we'll be able to align with the natural world, which is just waiting for us so that it can assist in switching things around. But the more you don't deal with your own universe, the more you stay detached from the natural world, because you will find that you are the natural world. You will find through the colors, the frequencies of the colors and the vibrations around you, when you allow yourself to be open to your own evolution, the natural world will communicate so much to you. And you'll hear it and respond accordingly with what you intake, with how you recalibrate. And it's a beautiful thing. And you'll be aware of how you live your life, and want to make it more aligned with the natural flow of the seasons. With the natural flow, is what I'm doing healthy for the planet? Is what I'm thinking healthy for those around me? Because I know that my frequency and my consciousness is affecting all the people around me and more. So that's it, beautiful beings. As we come to the spring equinox, we're reclaiming our mental bandwidth amid energetic interference. Again, the link on wherever you see this, wherever you found the information for the podcast, you can just go to the breathing bar, or you can go to the Liberating Lounge. That's my website. It's the Liberating Lounge, ING, Liberating Lounge. And then once you click on it, you'll see a tab for the spring equinox expansion experience. So we will talk soon, beautiful beings. Have a wonderful moment wherever you are, because every moment is a new day. Give thanks.